guys, F1 Fanatic here for the final installment in this F1 2013 time trial series. I'm going to try taking a lower end car. We're going to try Marussia. And I'm going to give you an opportunity to see what I do in a lower end car. It's a car that's lower down the spectrum. And in this video, like I said, I'm going to document basically what I do in a typical lap. What goes on inside my head on a typical lap in a Formula 1 car. But I figured to make things a little interesting, I'll jump in a car that's lower down the spectrum. So we'll give Marussia a shot and we'll see how it goes. So when the loading menu is done, when it's done loading, I'll see you back. Alright, so we're gonna end it off in beautiful Montréal, Quebec, Canada. It'll be a great way to end the time trial series for F1 2013. The next series that I'm actually going to try doing after this, I'm going to give you another time trial series, but an F1 Championship Edition. So you can see how my handling differs through different games. So let's give this a shot. Without further ado, the time trials will be underway. So basically, we'll give you some one-lap documentation here for this lap. Come to the chicane. Never very good at that chicane. Have to kind of be cautious about it. Let's see, I use the curves bottle to get a nice push. Come into turns 1 and 2. Going down on the second gear. And then always like to use a little bit of curves just to give myself a good push. Gotta put that brake to the rear. Hit into 3 and 4. Little iffy there. Come into 5 and 6. On the second gear. Sometimes I'll go down to the first gear, because sometimes first gear tends to help me out a little bit, but if I get in second gear, I'll do so. Now 7 and 8. Basically, some corners, I like to proceed with caution. You know, I always tend to think in my head, you know, what's going to happen at the next turn. You know, and I try to see where I'm going speed-wise and try to keep myself afloat and keep myself focused on the track. And especially with lower-end cars like Marussia, sometimes you'll see me try to fight with it a lot more due to the fact that it's a car that's lower down the spectrum of Formula 1 cars, you know? Because it gets to be... Sometimes for me, it gets to be a little painstaking to have to fight with it constantly, like you'll see right there. Constantly getting that extra rear torque that I don't need. But mostly with these cars that are lower down the spectrum, I do fight with them a lot. So sometimes it can make it a little difficult. But at least I'm going to take a guess as to what my times could be with these cars. And I would say they could be a little higher than normal. Like, I'm not sure. I'm not going to speculate too much, but at least from what I feel through each lap that I clock, it feels to me that I drive a little faster, and I get some faster times than other people with cars lower down the spectrum like this. But, yeah, and like I say, I always proceed with caution into each turn. Some corners on some tracks I tend to struggle with, so it just makes me even more cautious, but yeah, you know, sometimes because of my style, sometimes some laps can get very sloppy. And one other thing that's kind of funny about that is most of the time, like, some people or most people will make mistakes once and then learn from it. But it seems for me, sometimes I'll make the same mistake over and over and over again. You know, like sometimes I'll go too wide into a corner and end up in the grass. Then the next lap comes around and I make the same mistake again. Which may seem stupid to you, but that's, I don't know, that's just how it goes and how it happens. So sometimes it gets frustrating for me sometimes. You know, I try to correct the issue, but I only get the same response in the end. So sometimes it gets a little frustrating. But, and like I said in the first video in the time trial series with the curse bottle, where I use it, I try to predetermine. Usually the first lap or two is where I predetermine what places I'm going to use the curse bottle at. So sometimes it can be like, you know, turns 5 and 6, and sometimes it can be turns 12 and 13. I basically go around and basically in the first couple laps predetermine where I'm going to use the curves for a significant amount of time. Like here for Canada, mainly I'll use a little bit there possibly. Here into this corner, not so much, but coming up after this turn, after these sets of turns here, mainly when I get to the straightaway, that's one area where I'll typically use curves. At least a quarter of the bottle, sometimes half. There I used half, but I think actually, most of the time I actually use half, as opposed to using a quarter of the bottle. See, I'll use quarter there too. So on that straightaway I'll use half. That straightaway right there I'll use quarter. Then, usually when I come around this hairpin, I'll use the rest of the curves bottle there. Because like I said before, you're given a full curves bottle, so you might as well just use it up, because it's gonna refill the next lap anyways. At least that's just how I think of it. You know, as opposed to wasting curves that you could be using, might as well just use it all up somehow, systematically. But this lap will be the last lap that I'm gonna clock. At the end of this lap, I clock it and coast. But for the next, this will be the end of the time trial series for F1 2013. The next time trial series is gonna be for F1 Championship Edition, and that should be something. And it'll also show you too, like how my handling is, how my handling differs from other games as well, like how my handling works, not just F1 2013, but other games like Championship Edition and so forth. But at some point, maybe I think for F1 2014 details, I may release another video in the next couple of weeks or so. Whenever Codemasters decides to release... Yeah, there's a little glitch there. Sometime, yeah, when Codemasters decides to release that next hot lap, the first hot lap for F1 2014, I'll surely be able to get that across to all of you viewers, and we'll talk about it. See how it all works out. But also, check out another video on my channel, too, about the Roxio GameCapture HD Pro. I'm having a little issues with it, so I'd love for you guys to take a watch. I'll put it in the description so you can watch it, and please help me out, because then I can get more videos, because until I can get that fixed, I can't do any more videos, so yeah, help me out, please. But this is F1 Fanatics signing out, and I'll see you on F1 Championship Edition Time Trial Series. Goodbye.